In the previous lesson, we worked with univariate time series, just one column. In this one, we're going to work with bivariate time series, where we have two columns, in this case, photovoltaic solar generation and wind generation. That is, the energy we produce with wind turbines, as we see in the images. By performing a bivariate analysis, we can see how solar and wind generation relate to each other. In this case, we see that higher solar generation means lower wind energy, which might have its reasons, as more sun likely means less wind. Moreover, I will teach you how to visualize interactive bar charts with the Plotly library and see what the generation mass is between the technologies. First, we load the data table by executing this line of code and select both the photovoltaic solar and the wind column. But be careful, because if we place the two column names consecutively, we will have a key error because there is no column that is both photovoltaic solar and wind at the same time. How do I differentiate between two columns within the data frame? The bracket indicates that I want to access within the data frame. And in this case, since I want to access not just one column but also add the wind one, the only object with which I can have more than one at the same time is the list. Therefore, I have to surround it with brackets. We execute, and here we have the data frame we wanted, and we need to consider a small factor. If I create a new column and give it a value, when I call it again here, the new column appears with the values. However, it gives me a warning, because I'm trying to put a copy in a part of the data frame, a slice. To solve it, the ideal would be to create a copy, and we would no longer get this warning. Therefore, we remove this cell, and if you see in another tutorial that I make a copy, you know the reason. As we did before, if I now execute the plot function automatically, it will plot both columns at the same time. If I use the daily resample function and sum, it will also do it for both columns. It's all very automatic. As you can see here, I now have 365 rows, and if I plot lines, here it appears. We can observe that photovoltaic solar in the blue line generates more energy during the summer months, while in winter it generates less, and the opposite happens with wind energy. The same charts we saw before we can do with this new data frame. Here we see that if we do the area plot automatically, it generates one on top of the other, or also the bars that it places one beside the other. In the next tutorial, I will explain how to visualize the correlation of two time series to see it in a chart, and even interactively with regression, the constant parameters, and the slope.